Hello, are you guys there? Hi, Sienna, how are you? Great to see you.
Grace, hi Grace.
Grace,
Hi,
can you hear us? Oh, perfect. Wonderful to see you guys. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for doing this. I'm really excited to talk to you guys. It's been, I guess, I was trying to do the math, maybe almost 2 years since we were together in person, since we had the opportunity to make this film and really highlight the unbelievably beautiful work that Grace, you do in South Sudan with your students and the whole team there. So we just kind of wanted the opportunity to reconnect and see where you guys are at and talk about this film a little bit, War and Grace, that we made together in April of 2019, I believe, maybe around there. So first, I just kind of wanted to check in with you, Sienna, about kind of why, just telling us why you got involved with this film, War and Grace, how you got involved, kind of what it meant to you to be part of this project.
Well, I've worked with the International Medical Corps for maybe 12 years now and have traveled all over the world with them. And this opportunity came up to make or be a part of this film, your film, with this fantastic filmmaker, Grace would agree. And to travel to South Sudan and to meet Grace and see some of the programs that International Medical Corps were helping to fund there. So I never ever wanted to pass up an opportunity to go on a trip with the organization. I've had incredible experiences. And in South Sudan, to go and see some of these amazing places that Grace was running and see how they're training midwives. And it has one of the highest maternal mortality rates in the world. And there is really one woman at the center of this who is doing this life-changing work. And so it was just an amazing opportunity.
And the film, it's a short film, War and Grace, and it's set, as Sienna said, against the backdrop of this conflict-ridden country that's the youngest country in the world, just gained independence in 2011. The people have been through decades and decades of conflict. Millions of people displaced by violence there, and as Sienna mentioned, one of the highest maternal mortality rates in the world. And so it's really, really, I think we can all agree it was very difficult, very heartbreaking to see. Grace lives there and works there, and so she sees it every day. And just what the women in the country and the young girls have to face and the circumstances that they're living through. And so, against this backdrop, there is, this midwife teacher, named Grace, who helps run, one of the few schools that in the country that is training young midwife students to be able to help women and help drop the maternal mortality rate. So Grace, if you could just tell us about kind of a little bit about the school. I mean, obviously it's told in the film, but the importance of training midwife students there in South Sudan, the school and its progress and kind of where you're at, and also how it felt for you to have us there to see that and to document that.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And thank you very much for inviting me for this meeting. My name is Grace Tindilo, a South Sudanese, an origin of Kajokeji County. We've been training students of the midwifery cadre from the year 2008 up to date. We have progressed in different calibers of different materials of midwives. From 2008, we had what we call the community midwifery. When it came to 2012, we had enrolled midwives. And currently we are training diploma students who are midwives. all our focus is to see that if we could manage, we reduce the mortality rate of mothers and their babies. But what is frustrating us is that the war has never ended. People have been displaced again from where they were living, where health centers have been developed, and they are also chased to the forest. Some are in other countries, they are in refugee. So that is another thing which is really frustrating us. Otherwise, our struggle was we could have trained midwives who would really work hard to reduce the mortality rate of mothers and their babies. Currently, the schools that are under IMC are 3, and they have really done a lot to help the country in general. It's not focusing only on Juba, but it's all over the country of South Sudan. These midwives are scattered in the country to help the mothers. But the mothers, some of the mothers, we cannot reach them because of the insecurity. That's one part that is really frustrating us. But we have the hope that when this war stops, things are going to work well, and the trained midwives are going to handle the mothers the way we really feel they should feel happy with their baby.
Sienna, I wanted to kind of reconnect with you. I mean, I know we had, we were both feeling very emotional during that trip. You have traveled a lot with this organization, International Medical Corps, and I know you were in Congo and Haiti and Nigeria and all of these places, which I can't even imagine what those trips were like. This was my first time traveling to the field and going to Africa in general. And so we were both, I think just there was a lot of emotion, obviously. So I wonder if you could just kind of reflect on, a little bit kind of what the emotional experience was to be there, specifically in South Sudan, maybe compared to some of the other places you've traveled, and what you saw and how you felt about it.
I think, there are always the most uplifting, amazing moments that happen on these trips, but there's also incredible suffering. And I think with South Sudan, there's something that's so inspiring about it as a place. It has such potential, being the youngest country in the world, to kind of rise and to do something amazing. The people were incredible. The country was beautiful in places. And but it was very recently ravaged by war and ongoing conflict and many displaced people, and you feel that sense of kind of desperation and need. And I remember we walked around that hospital, and there was still dried blood from an ambush on the walls, and you see the potential for that country to be something. It's just being held down. But then you meet somebody like Grace, and that was, I think all of the emotion that I was feeling really came out when I met you, because on all these trips that I've done, there's so much need and you don't really know where to channel your focus. And then you meet somebody who is this beacon of light, and you see a kind of path through. Grace has her students, the students scatter, they spread her knowledge, like she just said, but there's kind of an evolving solution to what Grace is doing, and it is a fundamental right, access to healthcare and maternal healthcare and the safe delivery of babies. And it was really painful, that trip, and it felt really desperate in many ways, but also deeply inspiring.
Grace, where do you kind of get your inspiration? I mean, we were so inspired by you. And as Sienna said, we're like witnessing this just horrible devastation, but then you're this beacon of light and hope, and you and the students inspire us, and we want to share your story, and we want the world to know what you're doing. But then you're just like so full of so much passion, and you just keep going and going. And so, what inspires you and to keep going, and how do you provide all this light and hope for so many people like Sienna and me?
Okay, I don't think I have any problem you sharing the story, because the story is a fact of what has happened in South Sudan. I'm pleased to say that you came and saw the South Sudan which people are talking about. But we are inviting you to come and go to the lower places, to the areas where you can really see the picture of South Sudan at the moment. Here in the city, it looks like it's lively, but down on the ground, it's not lively. So you are welcome to share the story, and I am here for you. You can call me at any time if you need some help.
Wonderful, thank you. Well, and I guess, Sienna, how do you plan? I mean, you're executive producer of the film. You know, you were a narrator. It was so wonderful to have you involved. I know you were so excited to have met Grace and go back and tell people about her. I'm just wondering, I guess, you know, have you been sharing her story? I'm assuming you have, and kind of how are people responding to hearing about her and to seeing this film?
You know, we have all these plans with Grace, and then 2020 happened and kind of kiboshed everybody's life. But like I said, I've never kind of seen the conduit in all of those years of traveling. I've never kind of understood where should I channel the focus, and have spread myself really thin to whatever was most urgently needed. But seeing this, meeting this woman and loving Grace like I do, and just the kind of hope and the vehicle that she is for to be a catalyst for real change that's kind of trackable. It's just something that really changed me and changed my experience of traveling with IMC, and anyone who's willing to tell this story and to, you know, to kind of spread that hope and that message. And anybody who gets to meet Grace or even come into contact with her is a very blessed person. So I'm thrilled that you made this and that I could be a part of it, and for the opportunity to spend some time with you, Grace, who I miss.
Thank you very much. I'm even pleased and amazed of you people coming all the way long up to South Sudan. And you took that time to go and also take the video of the school, the picture of my home. It was very interesting. Sonia had to travel from IMC up to my home. That was very interesting. And it really showed us that she was concerned about the situation we are living in. So I have to give you a lot of thanks for all the interest you had for us South Sudanese, and for me as Grace, as a person. I'm happy.
She might have just frozen.
I'm happy, which is perfect.
Which is a fantastic ending. We're lucky we got her internet for that long, and what a wonderful way to end this. She's happy.
Very grateful for you, and thank you so much.
We got her back.
Well, thank you. We're very happy to have met you and to have been able to do this project. And again, you know, this film is about Grace as sort of the head of this. But as Sienna mentioned, there's so many lives that Grace is touching every single day. So many students that are you know, acquiring the knowledge that they need and the skills they need, but also to have a leader like her, showing them what's possible. So many of these students were born in refugee camps or live in circumstances most of us have never experienced or can't even imagine. And yet they're persevering. They're completely committed to this idea of education and to growing and to serving their communities, serving their country, this young country that has so much devastation, but has so much potential as being so young and having this kind of fresh start. And we really appreciate, you know, the work that you guys are doing, and Sienna, that you helped us highlight this and let your beautiful voice and your creative, you know, vision to this film, and kind of melding of minds. It was a really beautiful experience. So thank you both for being part of this.
Well done for making this film.
Yeah. Thank you, Grace, and we'll see you soon. Keep us posted. I'm sure everybody who sees this film wants to know kind of what's next and how you guys are doing and how the students are doing. So, you know, we look forward to more updates from you guys in South Sudan. So, Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Greetings from the students. They were excited to hear that I'm coming to talk to you, and they have sent you greetings, and they are welcoming you to come back and see them, because they saw you the first time and they would really feel like seeing you another time. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.